Hello divs, my name is Yeresa Tolosa. I'm a consultant, trainer and researcher. I'm presenting different videos on different issues such as on education, research, consultancy, life skills, among many others. In these videos, or 5 videos, I'm going to present video lessons on overseas or migrant domestic workers, Ethiopian in focus. I would like to invite you to stay with me. So in order to get full-fledged knowledge on this subject, I would like to invite you to cover all 5 videos that will be presented for you consecutively. This is part 1. Once again, I would like to say thank you for your attending. Now let me move to presenting the contents of all these 5 videos. The first video, that is video number 1, will present lessons on training needs identification for overseas or migrant domestic workers. This video number 1 means this one, the one which I'm presenting for you. The second video will deal with pre-departure training curriculum for overseas domestic workers. In part 3 or video number 3, I will present for you about a new departure training curriculum for overseas migrant domestic workers. In video number 4, I will present for you a lesson on training curriculum for those who go abroad for domestic worker. In the last video, that is in video number 5, I will present for you video lesson on reintegration training curriculum for returning from overseas or returning migrant domestic workers. Now let me move to presenting video number 1, that is training needs identification for overseas or migrant domestic workers in detail. The first thing that we should do in order to develop training needs identification for overseas or migrant domestic workers is to identify the destination countries. What does this mean? This means when we talk about migrant workers or domestic workers in abroad, that means they have to leave their homeland. So one has to identify the country where they are going to. For instance, when you take Ethiopian case, most women, domestic workers, go to Arab countries. So he or she, as a candidate, should understand the culture, the language, among many others, of those countries they are intended to go to. Then the curriculum or the training needs should identify the training needs of the overseas by disaggregating in gender. When you say what type of training needs are needed there where they go for males, what about for females? This should be identified. The next step, or what to be done, or one of the contents in order to develop training needs for people who go abroad for work is solicit the skillful person for each task and job. That means those who are experienced professionals who were abroad and have good experience on this matter should get involved. There are many people who were abroad in our countries, for example in European country, if they go in Arab countries, because most of the countries where Ethiopians go for work, especially the females, go for domestic work is Arab countries. That's why most of the time I take examples of the Arab countries as examples. The next one is, or another issue that should be considered, is to identify the region the candidates have come from. It means in Ethiopian case there are different regions, about 40 regions and so on. For instance, there are people who come from Amhara, from Oromia, from Tigray, from south part of Ethiopia. There are also people who might want to go to abroad for domestic work, from urban, from rural areas. So these people or candidates should be identified, and in order to be treated accordingly. The demographic, say, gender, age, religion, educational background, language, psychological makeup of the candidate should be taken into considerations when we identify training needs for migrant workers. Another issue that should be considered is to identify the existing similarities and differences among the inland work trends with abroad. That means when you take an Ethiopian case, there are trends, there are cultures, there are religions that are similar with others. In the same manner, there are also differences. So the similarity and the difference should be identified, and then if there is, or the differences should be treated fully, so that when they go there, they'll not get into trouble. Another issue that should be considered is to assess the motivation and work experience of the candidate to go abroad and work. This means there are different reasons why people are, or citizens are, motivated to work abroad. Some of them might be to live there. Some of them might be to earn money and come back to homeland. Some of them might want to stay there. Some of them might want to go there for marriage, for religion issues. Unknown. Of course, from Ethiopian experience, most of the people who go abroad, especially the females, not to live there forever, to work there and earn money and come back to homeland. Anyways, whatever the case, it should be identified. Another thing is there are what we call it occupational standards. This occupational standard should be developed. It is developed based on the aforementioned criteria, the criteria that I've already mentioned to you in this video. It means by getting involved with those experienced people in occupational standard and curriculum development activities. This means the one who developed curriculum and the one who developed occupational standard should be the one who is adept in doing so. Another issue that should be considered when we develop a kind of curriculum is the first thing we do is we develop occupational standards. This occupational should be broken down into jobs, broken down into duties, and broken down into tasks. What does it mean? Job is the big work, the big broken down of occupation. These jobs should be also broken down to small works, which we call as duties. Duties should be also divided into tasks or activities. That is from general to specific. Of course, in order to do this, there should be, as I've said, experienced or professional people who should do these activities. Another issue that should be considered when we talk about training needed identification and curriculum development is to level the occupational standard and the training standards. To level means depending on the qualification framework of the country, especially depending on the qualification needed abroad, where those domestic workers aspire to go there. Level 1, say, for instance, level 1 might be the one who work routine workers. Level 2, say, it is a bit complicated workers. Those who are trained in level 3 might work advanced and more complicated workers, such as supervisory, managing workers, something like that. So occupations should be also labeled accordingly based on the labor markets needs of those countries, because we are planning to develop a curriculum and training materials or training program for those who are about to be sent to abroad for domestic work. That should be considered, that should be taken into considerations. The next one, or another issue that should be considered, is to prepare the input and the material required for the training. I am talking holistically. I'm telling you in this video the fundamental in the nutshell. It's not specific one. For instance, occupational standard, when you say even it has its own specific activities that should be done. But here I'm telling you or presenting you just a kind of highlight. In the rest videos, video number 2, 3, 4, and 5, we will see together the detailed parts. So in order to develop occupation, in order to develop curriculum for those who are expected to go abroad for work, is to prepare inputs and materials required for the training. And then training provision should come. That means training should be provided. How training is provided, that we're going to see in the next videos. Then you evaluate the whole training programs, and you can edit, or you can, I can say, you can do something better or improve based on the data or the information that's found from the evaluation. So always training should be evaluated, the training should be monitored, every activity should be monitored and act accordingly. Thank you very much for your staying with me in this video. In the next videos, we will see different parts about these issues. The immediate one that's coming is part 2. It is about pre-departure training curriculum. Pre-departure means those people or citizens, before they leave their homeland, what should they do? What type of curriculum should be developed for those before they leave the country? That's what all about that we are going to do. We are going to discuss. See you there. Till then, bye bye. My name is Adesa Tulusa. If you want, you can share this one. And also, if you want another videos to come or to reach you easily, I would like you to subscribe it. Once again, I would like to say thank you. Bye-bye.